Hello! Today we are working on lesson 4. So if you want to find this in your notes, find lesson 4, number lines and interval notation. And we are going to work on something called compound inequalities. So today the plan for this lesson is to focus just on how to graph and do interval notation. The next lesson will focus on how to solve compound inequalities. So at the beginning here, I would like to define what compound inequalities are. So if you want to pause the video, you might want to do that while you write this down. Compound inequalities are two inequality statements joined by the word or by the word and. Okay, so I would recommend you pause the video so you can jot that down. Okay, so we're looking compound. A compound word is two words put into one, like cupcake. Cup is a standalone word, so is cake, but when you put them together, it's cupcake. We're going to see that with an inequality as well. Okay, the other two things I want you to write down, what does it mean if it's an or, and what does it mean if it's an and? So an or inequality means either inequality must be true. The and means they both have to be true. Okay, so or means one or the other is true, but if it's and, everything has to be true. And so I will talk more about that as we see that. So if you need to pause to catch up, go ahead and pause the video and then come back. Okay, so I only have 5 examples here, and all we're doing is graphing the inequality on a number line, and then we're going to write our answer in interval notation. Now, the first one here is just what we have been practicing all along, okay? So let's make that number line. And so I'm going to have 10, so that means I'm going to have maybe 0 over here to the left, and I'll make 10 to the right. So it is going to be an open circle. All right, I've got just a greater than. And so all of the answers are greater than 10 are moving to the right. And so your interval notation, it's like you're looking at the smallest number, and then way over here, even off the page, is the largest. So I'm going from small to large. So I'm going from 10 is my small number, infinity is my large, and so open circle, I need a parenthesis, and infinity always gets a parenthesis. Okay, so that's what we've been doing. Number 2, I want you to see looks a little bit different. 3 is less than x is less than 8. So what this is saying, if I take the middle, all of my answers are under 8 but above 3. So think of it as in between two numbers. So this is considered an and inequality, even though it doesn't have the word and. So 3 is less than x is less than 8. So I guess you could substitute the word in there. You could say 3 is less than x and less than 8. So here's how we will draw this. So draw yourself a number line. Now I need to have 3, 0, and 8 on there. So 0 comes in between 3 and 8. So I might do something like this. Or actually, no it doesn't. 0 comes before 3. So maybe I'll put 0 over here to the left, and then a little bit of a space and a 3, and then maybe a larger space and an 8. Okay, so I want to see, I'm going to cover up the right-hand side. So when I see this, I have an open circle. It's just a less than sign. So around the number 3 is an open circle. And then if I evaluate the same thing on the other side, x is less than 8, that's another open circle. So each of the numbers, like I could have a closed on one and an open on the other. So I'm looking to join between 3 and 8. Okay, so I'm looking to kind of go like this. So that's showing me every number in between 3 and 8 are solutions, except 3 and 8 are not solutions. So like take the number 5. 3 is less than 5 is less than 8. So that fits. Okay, so it looks like this. Now interval is going to be the same. Okay, I've got smallest number and it stops at 8. So it goes from 3 to 8. So it's going to look like this. Small number is 3, large number is 8. They are both open circles, so I get parentheses around them. And so it looks like an ordered pair, but the context of this, we know we're doing interval notation, so it's actually an interval. Okay, that's kind of our first and. Take a look at number 3. Now, when there is an or, it will explicitly write the word or. So I'm going to graph x less than or equal to -4 or x greater than 5. Okay, so go ahead and make your number line. And again, I want the -4 and the 5, and I want 0 on there. Okay, so 0 is in between those two numbers. So maybe a -4 more on the left. I've got a 0, and then a 5 is to the right of 0. So I'm going to separately graph them. So just ignore the second part. So we're going to graph x is less than or equal to -4. So I want I want a closed circle. And then I'm going to point to all the answers that are less than or equal to -4. So it's going to go here to the left. Now graph x greater than or equal to 5. So another closed circle. And then greater than or equal, I'm going to point to the right. So when I think of the ors, I think of it's this way, or it could be this way. So you could have a number under -4, or maybe it's above 5. So your interval is going to be a little bit odd. I'm really going to have two intervals joined together. So I want to ignore the 5 for just a moment. So if I do interval off -4, it's the biggest number is -4, and it's going all the way over here to -infinity forever. So my first interval is going to be -infinity, comma, -4, and I need a bracket here because it's picking up 4. So leave just a little space right here because we're going to put something in between them. Now do the same on 5. So 5 is the smallest, it's going to the right forever, which is infinity. So I'm going to have a bracket, because it is a closed circle, comma, infinity, and then I put a U between these, and it stands for the union between the two. Okay, so I've got one interval over here, it's brought together with another interval. And so this is what interval notation looks like for the ors. It's this way or this way, and so we can tell here that it's a or inequality. Okay, number 4. Actually, I want you to try to do number 4 and number 5 on your own. So number 4 is going to be a lot like number 2. This is an and inequality. I'm going to write the word and next to it. It's got to be all the numbers in between them. And then number 5 is the or. So you're going to have a picture that looks like this, and you're going to write an interval that looks like this. So I want you to pause the video. And then when you have tried them both, come on back and let's check your work. Okay, number 4. So I would plot the -7 and the 10, and 0 is somewhere in the middle. -7, 0, 10. And it's going to come together. They're both less than or equal to. So if I cover up the 10 part, the less than or equal is attached to the -7. And if I cover this side up, I have a less than or equal. So they both are closed circles. And so it's going to be joined between them because it's all the values in between. So here is my interval. Small number, -7, large number, +10, and they both get brackets because they're closed. So bracket -7, comma 10, bracket. Okay, and then lastly, number line. So 3 and 25. So I'm going to put 0 way here on the left, 3, and then a big gap, and 25. Okay, x is less than 3. This is an open circle. And then less than is all the numbers to the left of that. So x greater than or equal to 25. So this is a closed circle. And then greater than is to the right. All right, so I'm going to make a similar interval notation with a U attaching them. So the first one, I'm going to go from -infinity and stop at 3. So it's going to be parenthesis, -infinity, comma 3, parenthesis, because it's open, U, and then here, 25 is the smallest. It goes on forever to infinity. So bracket 25, comma infinity, parenthesis. Okay. All right, so the new item today is compound inequalities. So today I want you to get a little bit more comfortable with what this looks like and typing this. So when you do these in Schoology, you're going to put the U in between them, and it's going to be one stream of information with no spaces. So the next lesson, we're going to actually learn how to solve these and then do the graphing and interval. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message or chat with me in class.